Greetings, HP Touchpad users. This is Reverend Kyle, your Minister of Mobile Devices, and in this video we are going to cover some of the different launchers that are available for your Cyanogenmod Android on the HP Touchpad. I'm going to go ahead and boot into Android right now and show you what I've got going on. I'm actually showing off my new boot animation here. A friend of mine shared this with me, and I definitely had to load this onto my Android device. Pretty nifty. Alright, some of you may or may not be aware of my pre-existing setup here. Let me give you a quick rundown. Let me scoot this back a bit. Alright, so this is the stock Android appearance, and when you get your HP Touchpad with the Cyanogenmod Android installed on it, it actually comes with the freebie version of the ADW launcher. Now I have to tell you, for the longest time I have been using the ADW launcher EX, the paid version. I paid a couple bucks for it and I have loved it. In some of my other videos you may have noticed my icons had backgrounds to them, and I happen to like that, along with some of the animations from scrolling between screens. You'll also notice the pulse widgets and the clock here, similar to the Sense style clock, and then I have my Twitter and my Facebook widgets here, which are Android Pro widgets. I guess I should use this time to make a shameless plug for those of you loyal fans of my Rev TV videos. Be sure to check me out. I do have Twitter, and I also have a Facebook page now, so please help yourselves to those. I will put links in the video description. Alright, so moving along. Here we have the ADW launcher. This is the default launcher. Two things I want to point out right away. Number one, you have the bar on the right hand side. Now, this being a tablet, I'm not a huge fan of the phone items existing on this tablet. So I have gone out of my way to try to find launchers that allow me to either hide them, which you can do that by just swiping up on it, or to just get rid of it altogether. Some of the launchers will allow me to move items down, make them transparent, whatever. So we'll go over those things. I do want to also set my personal criteria here. I'm not going to go over memory usage. I'm going to go over smoothness. I'm going to go over the launcher's ability to fit my own personal needs, look good on a tablet in both portrait and landscape, and cut out all of the fluff. For this demonstration, I'm also trying, and you'll see in some cases I can, in other cases I cannot, trying to set the desktop to be 8x8. I find that that is the best way, the best usage of the available real estate here on our screen. The background here is one of the default backgrounds, and I'll even bring up another one here. We'll just go into the Cyanogenmod wallpapers, and I will just pick, let's see here, we'll just go with this right here. It's always been one of my favorites. Alright, you can see that this chops off quite a bit due to the resolution or whatever, but if I do turn it to be portrait, you do see that you get the whole thing here. So that's kind of nice. Alright, getting back to this. Those of you who have been using this as stock and haven't gone to other launchers, you know that if you go in to the settings, there is an ADW launcher setting in here. You can go in and tweak this to your liking. I'm not going to touch on themes a lot. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of themes. I know a lot of you are, by all means go ahead and play. I'm looking more for functionality, ease of use, smoothness, and cooperation level, I guess. The UI settings in here, you can go in, change the main dock style to 3 or 1 or none in the situation that I like. I'm going to change that to none. Desktop indicators and all of this. I highly recommend you go in here before you download any other launchers and learn how this works. General behavior, home button binding, and those types of things. So if I go back to my desktop, you'll notice now that the my dock is gone. It's not there anymore, and so now I've had my desktop expanded a little bit, and that's nice, again, for the real estate purpose of things. These are the Pulse widgets, and I will go in and show you here under widgets that I have. Pulse gives you different options for large and small. I usually go with large. You can check different sources and go in. Now I've noticed that 5 and 2 doesn't work very well for me, but 4 and 2 do. So that gives me the ability to put several of these on here and then move them around to my liking or open it accidentally. Alright, so moving right along, I have my other widgets here, and these widgets are actually, and I'll just delete one and then recreate it here. Okay. This widget is from the Android Pro widgets. Anything that I show you here in this video is free, available on the market. I've gone out of my way to make sure that these are things that are available publicly for anybody to use. So I'm just going to go in and create a Twitter widget, 4x4 being the biggest one that they have available. And once it's there, I'm actually going to take the time to click or tap and hold and then use the edit. The edit allows me to resize these widgets. I'm not exactly thrilled with the fact that I can't make both widgets the same size as a result of ADW just not playing friendly with what we're doing here. Notice also, this is a big deal, that this is a scrollable widget. Some of the launchers that we're going to go over here do not allow you to scroll. Alright, so now that that's all said and done, how do I put a different launcher on? Well, the launcher themselves, and I have to have a way to get into the drawer here, so let me add one here. Okay. Now I have a way to open the drawer. Okay, so next we're going to go in and we're going to do Go Launcher EX. Again, that's a freebie available on the market, and it says, okay, so I've turned on this one. It wants me to go in and do clear defaults, so we'll go in and do that. Clear defaults stops this one from being the default launcher, so ADW launcher will not be the default anymore. So now I've hit clear defaults. So when I hit the home button, it gives the list. Now you see the list of all the launchers that I've been trying. We're not going to go over all of these. Some of them just really, there's no reason to. So I'm going to choose by default Go Launcher EX, and the status bar crashes. That's something that I've noticed has happened quite a bit, switching in between the different launchers, and it always comes back. It just takes a second. Thus is the life of an alpha user, I guess. Okay, so here we have, it's still semi set up in a similar form as to what we had before. All of the same kind of stuff. Now, two things you notice right off the bat. Number one, you've got the bar right here. Huge. Takes up a lot of real estate, and no matter what I do, I can't seem to get rid of it. That's a little cumbersome since this isn't a phone. Second thing you notice right away is that the desktop, the wallpaper, is full screen. This is something we didn't have in the ADW launcher. Now, if I rotate it and put it to portrait mode, you'll notice that it retains that full screen-ness, and it does scroll around very similar to the ADW launcher. The next thing that you may notice is that my Facebook and Twitter widgets are equally in size, and they do both scroll as we would want them to, but they are equal in size. Now I have attempted to resize these, which it does have the resize option if I press and hold, and I can drag it down and it goes underneath where the tablet bar is. That is unfortunate. The bar itself would have to be turned off in order for us to utilize that space correctly. Not a huge deal. Alright, so going forward then, this being Go Launcher, let's scroll over to where there's nothing. Go widgets. There are quite a number of Go widgets available. And let's just say you just want the Go clock. Well, if I hit the clock, what's it doing? It wants me to go download it. And I'm not a huge fan of going out and having to download all of these widgets. So I'm going to just flat out ignore the Go widgets, but I will look at it one more time to show you that there are quite a number of Go widgets, and you can go in and download them. There's a Go store. Go has made an effort to brand themselves individually from the rest of the launchers. Okay, let's take a look real quick at the, well, if we go into settings, there's quite a number of items here, again, cut off by the bottom bar. Themes, the Go Store, add and subtract individual pages, and then there's a preferences. If we go in here, screen settings, you can change the grid size. Right now mine is an 8x8, and that's how I like mine to be. Scroll circular, screen transition effects, most of them have that type of thing. Alright, so looking at it in terms of smoothness and everything, seems to work out pretty well. Not a big deal. Like I said, everything scrolls. You know, if I go into the actual tray, the app tray, this is something that I find relatively unique, is that number one, takes up a lot of space over here for a home button, so this kind of makes my list look a little bit longer than it normally would be. The recent and the running is very nice. Now the running I like because, well, there's a close all programs, and I can hit that bad boy and all those programs will close. So that's a feature that Go has that I haven't seen in many of the other launchers. Okay, so I think that's Go really. Go seems to me like it's really pushing its own brand, which I can't blame it for wanting to do that, but in terms of my own personal desires, it's a little cumbersome. So let's continue on. Alright, so I'm in my settings here, and I'm going to go to Go Launcher, which is default right now, and I'm going to hit the Clear Defaults. Clear Defaults, again, takes Go Launcher from being the default browser if I hit the home key. So if I hit home, it gives me the option to choose something else. The next one I'm going to choose is Zeem, and I'm going to use by default, and I'm going to choose Zeem. Now, for the longest time, I thought Zeem was going to be it. I thought Zeem was going to be the one that I really truly liked for a couple different reasons. Number one, the first thing you see is that I don't have my bar here on the right. What I've done is Zeem gives you the ability to align this bar to the left or to the right, and I've done so with only one item. So if I want to open my tray, I have one small button down at the bottom, and it's a beautiful thing. Let me change the wallpaper here to give you a better indication. We'll choose this. That's nice and cumbersome. Okay. Wow, that's really busy. Let me choose something different. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we have down here in the bottom right hand corner my tray launcher, and I love that because when I'm holding it like this, it's easy for me to go down and tap that with my thumb. The other thing I liked about this is that my real estate for my widgets were just, this is perfect. It's nice and big. It doesn't take up a lot of room. The only problem is Go back to it. They don't scroll, and I cringed when they didn't scroll, and I'm still playing with it to see if I can get it to scroll, but so far I haven't been able to figure that out. In terms of other settings, we'll go in to preferences, and not a lot here. Zeem is pushing itself as a very simplistic and very low memory usage and very fast and easy launcher. It's all about vanilla. It's all about the, I don't want to say bland, but the simplistic end of it. And you know, I have a lower profile phone that doesn't have a lot of juice, and Zeem Launcher seems to be very adequate for that phone. So this is something that I would recommend for a device maybe other than a tablet, unless you can deal with some of the widgets not performing as you'd want them to perform. And just to go in and look, again, very simplistic. If I do add, there are widgets, but these are all the widgets that already exist. So let me just go in and add another Android Pro widget. We'll just do another Facebook. Again, 4x4. I'm going to push that up to 8 because we do have this as an 8x8, and there we have it. If I do press and hold, no resizing capabilities. It's not dynamic, so I would have to kill it, delete it, and then try it again, which I'll just delete. Well, if I do it correctly, I'll delete that. Okay, going into the tray, nothing fancy. You can change the number of columns and rows and whatnot, and that's about it. So let me go in and go into my settings, and we'll try a couple other ones that are those are the big ones. There's also Launcher Pro. I want to show you that one next. We'll go in and tell Zeem to stop, clear defaults. Okay, hit the home, and let's do Launcher Pro. Okay, here's Launcher Pro. I haven't actually set this one up yet at all. So let's go in and take a look at the preferences. And let's see, home screen settings? Sure. Number of columns. Well, I want 8. Okay. Not quite yet ready to restart. Number of rows, 8. Okay, good. Not quite ready to restart yet. Auto fit. Okay. Home screen looping. Not a fan. Okay, we'll go back one. Restart Launcher Pro. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So what do we have here? We need to move some of the icons over a bit. Let's get rid of a few of these here. Okay, let's add some of our widgets now. See if we can get this looking the way we like. We'll just do a clock. I use the Sense analog clock. Again, it's available freebie on the market. We'll do that. To give me the option to resize it, it does. Okay. Well, there we go. I don't want to do that, but it's giving me the option to do so. At least it wants to. We'll go back there. The feature's only available to Launcher Pro Plus users. You can get it today for $349. Would you like to get it now? No, thank you. All right, let's see what else we can do. Widgets. We'll go into Pulse. Pulse Large. New Yorker. Oh, that's not going to line up right. Okay, well, I'm already not satisfied because it's not going to line up correctly because this is by default a 5.2 and it won't allow me to resize. Let me go over and see what my Android Pro widgets are going to look like. Let's see here. 4x4. Well, I guess. And 4x4. Well, let's see if it'll even allow me to put them side by side. It did. Okay, well, that's at least semi-encouraging. So if I wanted to buy the extra and go up to that, that would be, I guess, okay. And the bar closed again. No big deal. Twitter wants to log in. Again, be sure to check me out on Twitter. Launcher Pro. Alright, well, it doesn't seem to want to play friendly here. So that's Launcher Pro. I'm sure that there's some other things in there. My launcher bar, my tablet bar hasn't come back on yet. I noticed that it had a very difficult time coming back from Launcher Pro. So we'll jump into a different one here. This is one that I want to show you that I found recently, intriguing to play with. Again, I personally wouldn't want to use this by default. The I don't speak French, so I'm assuming this is SPA or SPA launcher. Okay, now this is why this is so novel, because quite frankly, it looks like an iPad. It plays like an iPad. It spins around like an iPad. It does everything you'd expect an iPad to do. Extremely hilarious, in my opinion. I showed this to a couple of the Apple freaks at my work, and they thought this was rather humorous. There's no tray because, well, everything is here already, so there's no real reason for a tray. Okay, that's one I want to show you. Launcher 7 is another kind of intriguing one to play with. This one is fun because, well, it looks like Windows 7. And it functions, well, Windows Phone 7, I'm sorry. Windows Phone 7, this is odd because when you go to add a widget, it tries to jam it into a 2x1, and that just wasn't working for me. In terms of the tray, here's your tray with all of your apps. And again, proof of concept, the novelty of this. Again, fun. Okay, it's a lot of fun to go in and say, hey, look at this. It looks just like a Windows 7 device, Windows Phone 7 device. Great. That's fine. What else do we have here? There is a honeycomb launcher, which I found to be kind of neat. Again, my tray hasn't come back, and so as a result of that, this looks great. Now, let me see if I can get my tray to come back here. We'll just turn that on. Honeycomb launcher. Can I get my tray to come back? No, it's going to be difficult. Alright, well, anyway, this looks like honeycomb, or at least some similar version to it. It's kind of fun to play with. I wouldn't call this exactly stable. Seems to be a little rocky, and not as customizable as I'd like it to be. The what was it that was fun? Oh, this was fun here. The carousel, all the different apps and whatnot that are spinning their wheels right now. That was kind of fun. All right, let's see. What else can we do here? I guess we need to go into settings. You know what? I'm going to leave it right here. I'm just going to leave it at this. The whole point of this was for you to see different launchers, how they function. You see a lot of them are similar. A lot of them are totally different. There's a lot of launchers out there. There's no harm in trying different ones. It's really up to you what you use, what you need. I think for my own personal use, I'm going to stick with the ADW Launcher EX. It's my favorite. I paid for it. It gives me the fun little icon backgrounds and all of that. So I'll leave it up to you. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, seeing the different launchers so that way I try them so you don't have to. All right, so this has been Reverend Kyle with yet another video showing you how to tweak the Cyanogenmod Android on your HP Touchpad.